Live from the Civic Media World Headquarters in Madison, Wisconsin, it's the Todd Albaugh Show. And now, pursuing truth wherever it may lead, here's your host, Todd Albaugh.
Good morning across the Civic Media Radio Network and streaming worldwide on the Civic Media app. I'm Todd Albaugh. It is Monday, May 22nd, 2023. Mr. Aaron Zomer is our producer and engineer on the board. We have reached hour number 2, and we are off and starting another week ahead. Going to be a great week. Looking forward to it. Sunny skies. The weather is getting warmer outside. I feel like the sinus meds have kind of kicked in. Still fighting the sinus allergies, but I feel like I'm maybe on the downward side.
You definitely sound like you're starting to feel better.
Yeah, well, thank you. Thank you for the listeners for hanging in there. Because I know a raspy voice and nasally is just not pleasant to listen to. So I appreciate everybody hanging in there, trying to get better, take care of myself. Lots of steamy showers and meds.
Yeah, that's good. That helps.
Yes, and air conditioning in the inside. All that helps. Hopefully you are fighting your cold allergy season, particularly allergies as well. Going to be a great forecast for you in terms of getting outside and just enjoying the nice weather. Checking the forecast for you today, Richland Center. First of all, in southwest Wisconsin, WRCE news from the center. Mostly sunny today, a high of 77. For tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 51. And tomorrow, Tuesday, sunny and a high of 79 degrees. Up in Wausau, WXCO, Bull Falls, Radioland, mostly sunny, a high of 79. Tonight, partly cloudy, a high of 52. And tomorrow, Tuesday, mostly sunny, a high of 82. Tomorrow up in central Wisconsin. In Amory, WLAK, Lake Air Radio, northwest Wisconsin this morning. Mostly sunny, a high today of 78 degrees. Then for tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 56. And tomorrow, Tuesday, mostly sunny and a high of 79 in Amory. Kara Foster from Weatherology says, I expect pretty much the same rinse and repeat weather forecast all week long. A couple of exceptions of a shower here or there, particularly in north or central Wisconsin. But otherwise, pretty much sunny skies. Highs in the 70s to low 80s. And the Memorial Day weekend shaping up to be pretty nice as well. Maybe a scattered shower there, here and there. But it looks like most of your weekend activities will probably be able to be gotten in. So that's great news for those of you who may be camping or traveling this Memorial Day weekend. Again, don't forget, we'll talk more about it as the weekend approaches, but coming up on Sunday on public television, the National Memorial Day Concert. It is, if you've never watched it before, we'll talk more about it towards the end of the week. It is an absolutely stunning performance. Gary Sinise, one of the longtime hosts of that special show. And what they do is they profile stories of folks in the military who have given the ultimate price. And they tell this story and how they got into whatever branch the military was and how their service went down and then ultimately how they gave the ultimate sacrifice for this country. It is powerful, powerful storytelling, powerful television, and it makes you just remember and think about what Memorial Day is really about. So looking forward to that on Sunday on Wisconsin Public Television. We'll have more about it as the week progresses. Also, we're going to have a special Memorial Day show we're working on for Monday. We'll technically be off, but hopefully record a few things with Mr. Zomers before then. So, to, again, honor those who have fallen in military service for this country. A couple of news headlines for you. Florida Republican Governor Ron DeSantis expected to enter the 2024 presidential race this week, while polls show former President Donald Trump remains the clear primary front-runner. Quiet efforts are underway by the Biden campaign to prepare for DeSantis, just in case. The campaign has already started putting cash and efforts into Florida and will decide in the coming months whether to put more. Meanwhile, Republican Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina has filed to run for president in 2024, according to the Federal Election Commission's website, and will formally enter the primary race today. Scott, the only black Republican in the Senate, is also poised to receive an endorsement from the number 2 Senate Republican, John Thune. He joins a growing GOP field looking to challenge President Joe Biden as he seeks his second term. Speaking of Biden, he and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy are set to meet again today As the clock winds down the nation's debt ceiling drama, yesterday, Biden issued a stark warning that congressional Republicans could use a national default to damage him politically and acknowledge that time had run out to use potential unilateral actions to raise the federal borrowing limit. Unless a compromise to raise the government's borrowing authority is reached within days, the U.S. could lose its reputation as the stable anchor of the global economy. Millions of Americans could see retirement and veterans' benefits put on hold once the government exhausts its ability to pay its debts. A default would also reverberate through the financial market, likely triggering a recession that would cause serious job losses and shatter a sense of economic security for many families. Again, it could all be avoided if Republicans in Congress simply did what's been done since the beginning of political time, which is raise the debt ceiling without limits or without negotiation, just like was done for Trump when he was president by Democrat Nancy Pelosi. SpaceX rocket carrying a former NASA astronaut and 3 paying customers took off from Florida yesterday. The crew is embarking on a week-long stay aboard the International Space Station, marking the second all-private mission to the orbiting outpost. The SpaceX mission is in partnership with Axiom Space and is making history on a few fronts, one of which stem cell researcher Rayana Barawi became the first woman from Saudi Arabia to travel to space. Back with dreams. What are yours? What if they came true? Stay with us on the Todd Almost Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. Welcome back to the Talable Show. It's now 9:15 on the time and temperature sign. Along Mr. Aaron Zommers, our producer and engineer. Welcome you back into another hour. What are your favorite dreams? Let me put it to you this way. If you could say, this is the dream that I'd like to achieve. This is something I've thought about for a long time. I'm not sure if it'll ever happen. What is your dream? What is it that you would like to achieve before you die if you could do anything? Does it have to be in the vocation that you're in now? Maybe you're retired. You say, boy, if I could go back, this is what I would have liked to have done. This is something I dreamt about. Give us a call. We'll love to hear from you this morning. 715-388-7155. Again, 715-388-7155. What is your biggest dream to achieve? Could be personally, could be professionally. Maybe you're not a singer. But you've always thought, boy, if I could, sing on stage with Bette Midler or Garth Brooks or something like that, that would be a dream I'd love to achieve. Dreams are important, I've always thought. It inspires us. It keeps us going, right? And once in a while, they actually come true. Actually, more than once in a while. What's your favorite dream? What is it that you dream about? The thing you'd like to achieve personally, professionally. You've always wanted to do. 715-388-7155. Again, area code 715-388-7155. I bring it up this morning, dreams that is, because here's a guy over the weekend who saw a dream come true. Michael Block. Did you watch any of the PGA Championship over the weekend? I caught very little of it. Was a pretty busy weekend for me, so I did not watch a lot of television, a lot of sports. By the way, the Brewers got a win yesterday to not be swept by the Rays. So that's good down in Florida. They're back home this week, the Brewers are. And, of course, we gave away tickets last weekend to the Brewers game for Tuesday. We'll have more ticket giveaways for you soon. Keep listening, as always, across all of the fine programming on Civic Media. You can listen to the Brewers all season long on our primary flagship station, WISS, Oshkosh Air Support, the Big 1100, across the valley on the east side of Wisconsin, from Shawano down to Sun Prairie and everywhere in between. 1100 AM Oshkosh Air Support. And in the southwest, it's WRCE, our home station, AM 1450 and FM 107.7. WRCE News from the Center, also your home for Milwaukee Brewers baseball. All season long, Hear Uke and the crew on the Brewers Radio Network here on the Civic Media Radio Network, a proud partner. And we thank our sponsors as well for Brewers baseball. So maybe your dream was going to a game. Made some dreams like that come true. Well, more dreams to come true with Brewers tickets as the season goes on. But what's your dream? Well, I had the PGA Championship this weekend, and Michael Block, a club pro, shoots a sensational hole-in-one to cap off a storybook Professional Golf Association Championship ending. Do you know what a club pro is? For those that might not golf, people ask, do you golf? I say I hack around. I've been doing some other kind of hacking with these allergies. But no, I've been golfing since I was in high school. I am not great at it. I have a terrible slice. I need to hire a club pro to straighten out my slice, quite frankly. I look at golfing a lot like I look at hunting. I just like to be outside. Right? It's kind of, if I hunt and I get something, that's fantastic. If I golf and I get a decent score, that's fantastic. But really, for me, it's about being outside and being with people that I enjoy being with. So that's what golf, I am not particularly competitive in golf. But I love doing it. I need to get better. So a club pro, if you go to a certain level of a golf course, they'll have a club pro. Sometimes they're part-time, sometimes they're full-time. But these are guys and gals that were very good probably in high school, probably played some level in college, and then are hired by that golf course to give you lessons. And sometimes they'll not just give you a lesson, sometimes for a higher fee, they'll actually go with you on a round of 9 or a round of 18 and kind of caddy for you and help you out with your game. Club pros. So this story, great story, by the way. Hollywood screenwriters might have rejected the script for being too unbelievable. But Michael Bach would not be denied this storybook ending to his PGA Championship fairy tale. The 46-year-old, 46. Think about that. A lot of people, once they reach 46, it's like, well, my dream passed me by. This guy, 46-year-old, the head pro at a public golf club in California, a public golf club, not a private resort or a private country club, a public golf course in California. He drilled a hole-in-one to put the gloss on a remarkable performance at Oak Hill Country Club in Rochester, New York, yesterday. Ever been to Rochester, New York, Mr. Zommers?
Nope, never been to New York.
Rochester, New York, beautiful area, near the Finger Lakes area. Beautiful part of upstate New York. Michael Block needed a top 15 finish to stamp his ticket to the 106th edition of the major next year. So he had to finish in the top 15. Not easy to do amongst the world's top golfers. But he followed up an ace 3 holes from the end with a superb par save at the death to seal a share of 15th place and won $288,333 in prize money, over $250,000. Or based on what he charges for an hour-long session at his own country club or his own golf club, that would be equal to, get this, 1,922 golf lessons. Imagine that. Winning a prize package in one weekend equal to 1,922 golf lessons that you give back home. I mean, that really puts it in perspective, doesn't it? That dwarfs Block's most lucrative payout of $75,000, won at the Club Professional National Championship 8 years ago. That marked the first and last time that he ever cried until yesterday. Quote, "If it makes any sense, the one thing in the world that makes me cry is golf," an emotional Block told reporters. If that puts into context as far as how much I love the game, you know now. It's everything to me. Obviously, I love my family and everything else and my job and everything, but golf is my life. I live it. I breathe it. I made sure one thing in my life, that I was going to drive to a golf course every day. Whether it was to caddy, or an on-site service kid, or an assistant pro, or head pro, or general manager, I was going to be at a golf course. I came to the golf course today at Oak Hill and played in the PGA Championship. Wow. How cool is that? Here's somebody that just loves golf. And can't we all relate to that in some way? Isn't there something that we all love to do? For some people, it's maybe paint, or to hunt, or to go out and work the fields. My granddad was a dairy farmer. No place he was happier than out in the field. Loved it. Went out there every day, or working with his livestock. For some people, it's music. To play the piano every day. Something they're passionate about. For some people, it's to knit or to quilt. For some people, it's to write. But golf is what this guy loves. And made sure he did it in some way, shape, or form every day. Back at his home course, crowds bundled into the club bar to watch and cheer on the 10-time Southern Californian PGA Player of the Year. Some 2,600 miles away in Rochester, the din was just as loud. Block captured hearts from the outset at Oak Hill, shooting back-to-back even pars 70s in the opening 2 rounds to sail into the weekend, just 4 shots off the top of the leaderboard. One of 20 PGA professionals to qualify for the tournament, Block had never before made the cut in any of his previous 7 major outings. He progressed to the weekend 4 times across his 24 PGA Tour appearances before this week. With his career best performance, a tie for 69th place finish in the Sanderson Farms Championship in 2014. Can you imagine this? Years and years of being the guy from the public golf course who just went and played all the big boys. Best he'd ever done was 69th. Never made the cut before in the 7 major outings that he got to be in. Just an average dude by all, This is a guy that you would see at any of your local public golf courses. But he loves the game. And he showed up this weekend. A third successive 70 score on Saturday saw him start the final round tied for 8th. 6 shots behind leader and eventual champion Brooks Koepka. Much to his disbelief, and also secured his opportunity to play his last 18 holes alongside former 4-time major champion Rory McIlroy. Rory McIlroy. If you follow golf at all, this is a guy who's all over the place. He's a 4-time major champion. You see him, the cameras follow him around, and Jim Nantz talks about him all the time, and the Masters and Pebble Beach, and a major player. Can you imagine being some dude or some chick from a golf pro from just a community course? You watch these guys on TV all the time. You probably idolize them to a certain degree. And you show up and you play after years and years and years. And you make the cut and you play the last 18 holes alongside Rory McIlroy. I mean, you got to be going nuts just to do that, right? Can you imagine the sweaty palms and just be like, I freaking cannot believe this. That's where I'd be. Block could not hide his excitement about getting a front row view of the Northern Irishman's legendary swing. Yet it was McIlroy who ultimately ended up with the best seat in the house for arguably the tournament's most brilliant shot. Get this. At the 15th tee, 151 yards from the flag, Block sent his ball sailing without a bounce into the cup. The crowd, raucous in their support of the underdog, all week erupted. Absolutely erupted.
Without a bounce, too.
Without a bounce. And we'll come back and tell you more of his story, the achievement of his dream, and hear your dreams as well. Stay with us. Give us a call, 715-388-7155, 715-388-7155 on the Todd Albaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. Welcome back.
Dreams are made of these. Who am I to disagree? I travel the world and the seven seas. Everybody's looking for something. Some of them want to use you.
Welcome back to the Todd Albaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. I couldn't interrupt the lyrics. Once the lyrics started, I had to let a little of that go.
Fair enough. It's a good song.
It is a great song. Sweet dreams are made of these. What year is that from? Can you see? I forget.
Let me
I'm going to guess. Let me guess. That's earlier than I think. I'm going to say 1982.
1983. But January 4th of 1983. So you were even closer than just that.
I missed it by that much. Great show. Great old show. Get Smart. Maxwell Smart, the agent. Great comedy. Used to say, I missed it by that much. All right, well, great song still from the 80s. Sweet dreams are made of these. 9:34 on the time and temperature sign. Todd Albaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network, along with our producer and engineer, Mr. Aaron Zommers, talking about dreams this hour. What are your dreams? What's a dream that you have yet to achieve or that you dream about achieving? If you could do anything, I'm not talking about reality necessarily. Maybe you've always wanted to be a great basketball player, a great golfer, and you think, boy, if I could just do that, that would be a dream. We'd love to hear from you. What is it, the thing that you're passionate about, that you work on every day? Are you a writer? Are you a piano player? Are you a quilter? Are you a golfer? Love to hear from you. 715-388-7155. Again, area code 715-388-7155. Talking about someone whose dream basically did come true. Michael Block, who's a club pro at a public golf course out in California. A public course, not a gated community, not a country club. But think about whatever public golf course is in your community. This guy is that. Gives lessons to kids, adults, a club pro at a golf club in California, a public golf course. Made his way to the PGA this weekend. Needed to finish in 15th place. All right? His best career performance before that, he had placed 69th at a tournament back in 2014. He needed to be 15th. And on the last hole of the last stroke, he tied for 15th place to do it. And he won $288,333 in prize money, way ahead of the biggest payout he'd ever received before, which was $75,000 8 years ago. And on the final round of 18 yesterday, he got to play with four-time major champion Rory McIlroy. I mean, absolutely unbelievable. And then, to top it off, on the 15th tee, in the final round with Rory McIlroy as his playing partner, he got a hole-in-one. Without a bounce. What's your favorite dream? What is it that you dream about? And we talk a lot about politics and current events. It's current events. But sometimes it's just good to do something totally different, right? And talk about something fun and positive. What's your favorite dream? Give us a call. 715-388-7155. Again, area code 715-388-7155. Would love to hear from you this morning. So Michael Block is out there on the 15th tee this weekend at the PGA Championship. He tees it up on 15. He hits it. It goes in. This is what he said. He said, so I hit it, and it's just right at it, but I can't see it. And all of a sudden it disappears. Recall Block, who was presented with the 15th flag during his post-round press conference. I'm like, cool, thanks, guys. Rory is walking down the pathway 20 yards away from me and turns around and starts walking back towards me with his arms open to give me a hug. And he goes, you made it. I go, what? Seriously? He's like, yeah, you did. He had to tell me 5 times that I made it. So it was a pretty cool experience to have Rory be telling me that I made a hole-in-one in front of God knows how many people that were supporting me. Can you imagine that? I mean, absolutely fantastic. To be walking down a golf course, to get a hole-in-one, and then you hear that. Despite a bogey on the subsequent 16th hole, Block finished with 2 pars to card 1 over for the round and the tournament. Level with him, compatriot Eric Cole and England's Tyrrell Hayton above him, 14th of the world's best players. Below him, over 100 other golfers, including many of the game's greatest stars, from multiple major champions, Jordan Spieth, to Dustin Johnson, to world number 1, Jon Rahm. Block finished ahead of all of them. I mean, that day will live in this guy's life forever. For, to use the term, for one shining moment, this guy who is a golf pro at a public course in California finished ahead of the world number 1, Jon Rahm. Block will be reunited with many of them when he tees up at Colonial Country Club in Texas for the Charles Schwab Challenge on Thursday. The next event on the PGA Tour calendar with his tied 15th finish, securing him as a sponsor exemption. It's set to be another whirlwind few days, the most dizzying of weeks. But he's keeping his feet firmly on the ground. Quote, I'm not trying to be anybody outside of myself, Block said. Hopefully people will gravitate toward it and appreciate it and be themselves and succeed in their own goals, as I have this week. That's a great quote, isn't it? Let me say it again. Hopefully people will gravitate toward it and appreciate it and be themselves and succeed in their goals, as I have this week. They kind of documented my big goal this week was to be the low club pro, right? And that maybe meant shooting 9 over after 2 days and beating other guys and then shooting 25 over the weekend. I could have been happy with that, but I wasn't. I wanted to be low club pro, but also changed my aspect and my thoughts about it. And just said, let's finish as high as we can. I didn't look at any leaderboards. Now that I know I'm 15th place and made $288,000, it's insane that I did that playing golf. He says, I love the fact that I sit in my backyard by my fire pit with my kids and my dog and always tell them this. Do you guys know that golf built this? Golf fed you tonight. Golf has the yard. Golf supplied the home that I have in Orange County, California. Golf did this for you guys. I always tell my kids this, that golf did it. And golf just did a little bit more for me this week. Great guy, seems like. Michael Block of California. And what he says there about golf, that can and should be true of any of us, right? The whole idea is we don't have to be golf pros or play in a professional golf tournament to be thankful for what we have. It doesn't matter what our job is. The fact that we have a job that can provide us with shelter and food and clothing and a happy life, that's what provides it. Are our dreams, our inspirations. I love that fact. I love the fact that a guy can be satisfied and thankful for what he has. Thankful for the opportunity. And the fact that here he is playing this big professional golf tournament alongside Rory McIlroy. And at the end of it, he says, hopefully people will gravitate toward it and appreciate it and be themselves and succeed in their own goals as I have this week. Trying to be inspiration for people, right? Basically, say you don't have to be a golf pro. You can just go out and enjoy it. I also like the fact that he says, I didn't look at any leaderboards. I just said, let's finish as high as we can. I think that's an important lesson as well. I think too often, no matter what sometimes it's in sports, a lot of times it's in sports, right? But also in our job, in our vocation. You keep having your eyes and thinking about the finish line. You look at the trophy. I want that trophy. I want to get to the ultimate spot in my profession. And that's fine. I think it's fine to have goals and to project that and to say, I'm going to make that happen. But if that's all you think about, you kind of lose the joy of the journey, right? Sometimes you just go out and say, I'm just going to enjoy this. I'm just going to go out and do my best. Read an article recently on Oprah. And she said that once her show that started in Chicago got syndicated, and she did kind of a sensationalistic show. I forget what it was about, but kind of that genre at the time, like, I don't know, so-and-so is having my baby in a paternity test, more like Maury Povich type of stuff. And she said afterwards, she just said, I'm not doing any more of that. And I'm just going to do the show that I want to do. And we'll see what happens. And it was her authenticity, being herself and enjoying the journey, that made Oprah Winfrey the top talker on television and one of the most influential people in the world. One of the richest, by the way, as well. But the fact was, she wasn't going to sit there and do things specifically for ratings. She was just going to be herself. And I think there's a great lesson in Oprah, and there's a great lesson in this guy as well, Michael Block. That to be successful, just be ourselves. Again, the quote, hopefully people will gravitate toward it and appreciate it and be themselves and succeed in their goals, as I have this week. Look, we as much as we might want to, we can't all be professional golfers out on the circuit, right? We can't all be golfing the final round with Rory McIlroy. But whatever it is that we enjoy doing in our communities, in our state, we can all be ourselves and just enjoy it for what it is and be out there. It's really the key that, I think that's a big key to being happy, really. Look, I'll say this not just because I'm here. People who actually know me will say it's true. I'm doing what I love right now. I'm living a dream. I never thought at 53 that I would ever be able to get back into radio, back into broadcasting. And believe me, I do not take that for granted. I am filled with gratitude and appreciation every day to Civic Media, to our owners, Sage Weil, and Mike Crute, for giving me this opportunity. It is a privilege to come before you every day and to interact with you and to talk with you, to bring you information to the best of our ability. And it doesn't mean we're perfect, and it doesn't mean we're always going to get it right. But to the best of our ability to pursue truth wherever it may lead. And by the way, have fun doing it. Right? That's kind of important too. To have a little fun doing it. We'd love to hear from you this morning. 715-388-7155. Again, area code 715-388-7155. Great lesson there about pursuing your dreams and about pursuing life. Back with more. We'll talk about some mosquitoes in a bit. Stay with us. This is the Todd Albaugh Show, and this is the Civic Media Radio Network.
Something irresistible-ish about them. We grin and bear it 'cause the nights are long. I hope that something better comes along.
Welcome back to the Todd Albaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. Little Muppets there. Hope that something better comes along. Ralph the dog, Kermit the Frog, 9:50 on the time and temperature sign. Mr. Zomer is our producer and engineer. Glad to have you back along with us this morning.
Oh, and we did just have a phone call on the line, but it looks like it's dropped off.
Okay.
If you want to call back in, I was not ignoring you. I just didn't see it because I was working on something until it was too late to pick it up.
All right, 715-388-7155. Again, area code 715-388-7155. Glad to have you along with us on the lines this morning. Feel free to call in. Happy to take your calls. This morning, in terms of dreams you have, things that you dream about, things you'd like to achieve, things like that. Always happy to hear from each and every one of you. Also, this hour into next hour, we're going to be talking about some news you can use. Mosquitoes. Yes, the unofficial bird of Wisconsin. We'll talk about that as well. But first of all, 715-388-7155. Go to the lines this morning. And Jim from near Green Bay, we appreciate you calling in. What is on your mind this morning?
Well, I just wanted to let you know that I was blessed to be able to do something I loved every year I did it. I taught for 45 years, taught and coached, and I loved every day of it. But while I was in Shawano, I started a mobile DJ business because one of my passions is music. I really enjoy music. So I did that for 23 years and did 950 events.
950 events.
950 events in 23 years.
That is a lot of events.
Well, it was. And there was a little bit of work because I had to carry in all the equipment to the venue that I was at and set it up and then play for 4 hours and then tear everything down and load it up.
and we're not talking like the young people do now with just a computer. I mean, this was all either 45s or CDs, correct?
You're exactly right. When I first started, I have about 4,000 45s, and I took all of those along, and then I started investing in CDs, and by the end of my career, I was carrying in about 7,000 of those.
6,000 or 7,000. That's a workout right there.
That was a workout. But again, I loved every minute of it because I like music, and one of my goals is to fill the dance floor. And about every event I was able to do that, so that was fun. I did high school events, weddings, class reunions. It was fun. It was like summer parties. So I just wanted to let you know that I was blessed to be able to do a wonderful career. I often tell people there was definitely divine intervention in my life because I was able to do what I love to do.
Well, that's great. We appreciate you calling in, Jim. We appreciate you, and congrats on a great career coaching and teaching and also in the music business. Fantastic.
Well, during those 23 years I was DJing, I was also coaching 2 sports full-time, head coach, and then teaching 7th grade math. So those 23 years were pretty busy.
It was. Well, Jim, thank you. We appreciate you up there. We up there near Green Bay. We appreciate you listening in to us, and have a wonderful day.
You bet, and thank you for a wonderful show.
Yep.
Like you said, you really enjoy what you're doing. You're exactly where you need to be, Todd. You do a great job, so thank you for a great show.
We appreciate you. Thank you very much. Jim near Green Bay, appreciate him calling in. You can be like Jim. Give us a call at 715-388-7155. Again, area code 715 388-7155. What are your dreams that you've either achieved or you think about doing? Things that, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to be good at it right now. Just something that if you could do it, what would you do, Mr. Zommers?
Well, first of all, I want to say I did the math on that, and 950 events over 23 years is just under one a week on average. So
that is a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot. It was a lot.
Impressive.
It is. Absolutely. Any particular dream that you have?
I guess a lot of my dreams that I have right now are simple. I feel like I've been pretty lucky in life. I haven't had it too hard. And what is most important to me is really being able to spend time with family and friends. And I get to do that.
Yeah.
And being able to, I guess, make things and play music. And I wish I had more opportunities to play the drums. I wish I was like in a band that got to, I'm not saying I need to be wildly famous. I just want to be able to play music more.
Did you ever think about that though? Like just in your wildest dreams, taking a walk or laying there sometimes, just think, man, what would it be like to like be a drummer in a band and have 70,000 people looking at you?
Oh, for sure. I've definitely thought about that.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure whether or not I want it. 'Cause having that experience would be incredible.
Right.
But it changes your life forever to be a celebrity.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm not sure if I want that part of it. But, you know, we're talking wildest dreams here. If I could do that and have no downside, absolutely.
That's the key, right? To have no downside. One of my favorite Mike Posner songs, one of the lyrics is, you don't want to ride the bus like me. You don't want to. I mean, the whole song is, I mean, it's from I Took a Pill in Ibiza. And
the original version Todd showed me a while ago, not the like dance club version, but like the solo version of him on guitar is very powerful.
It's a completely different tune. If you listen to the acoustic original version of I Took a Pill in Ibiza from Mike Posner versus the club remix, completely different song. And basically the song is saying, you look at me as this big star and you think that my life is perfect. But trust me, you don't want to be like me. Not knowing who you can trust, not knowing where you're going to be. You don't want to be like me. To Mr. Zommer's point, that sometimes to make it big is fantastic from a money standpoint. It can be fun for a while. But unless you're prepared for it, unless you have a lot of good, true support around you, it can also be life-shattering, right?
Oh, yeah. I don't want to be crazy wealthy. I just want to have enough to live fairly comfortably and be able to help people who I care about.
And that's why, like I say, I'm beyond content. I'm ecstatic to be here doing this show with you guys each and every day, along with Mr. Aaron Zommers and our great crew here at Civic Media. Thanks for giving us that opportunity. And again, I know it's a little bit different story that we might kind of take, a little bit of different news, but I think it's good sometimes just to do something different, talk about something positive. Talk about somebody who achieved their dreams. Because there is a lot of good news out there. It's just that, you know, the old, if it doesn't bleed, or if it bleeds, it leads. The old newsroom slogan, basically meaning whatever is the most sensational is what we're going to talk about, just for ratings. Nice to get away from that once in a while. And just say, we're just going to talk about something that is cool and is fun. Hope you enjoyed that. We're going to talk about next hour, give you some news that can use. What mosquitoes are most attracted to in human body odor is revealed. Mr. Zommers, what do you think what do you think is most attractive about your body odor to a mosquito?
You know, to a mosquito is a very important qualifier there.
Yes.
But I don't know. I'm going to guess it has something to do with your diet.
Probably. Just you're so sweet. That's what it is. That's the sweetness. So anyway, we'll talk about mosquitoes and much more in hour number 3. Stay with us. This is the Todd Almost Show on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Have the blues that bad.